It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You know what it is, man. What up? What up? Welcome back to another episode of How You Know. Peter, put the camera on yourself one more time. Let people really gracefully accept how much of the flow you got. Go ahead. Do it for your brother. Look at that flow. He looks like he's about to be put into a portrait of Death Row with Tupac and Snoop and that dog, that eloquently put portrait that's been famous for over the years. He's going to look like a floating head with a black background. Peter Lewis, our ever so incompetent producer. I'm not going to lie to you, Peter. The way I used incompetent made it seem like it wasn't a good word, but I'm pretty sure incompetent is a pretty good word, right?
I mean, competent, I would say people think is better.
Okay, well, what does competent mean?
It means that you're good at what you do. You're able to do it. You know what you're doing.
So if I say incompetent, would that mean you're even further in the definition of the word? Like you're full on incompetent? Like you can say you're competent,
well,
when
it's
you're
not the same as inflammable. It's not the same as inflammable. Incompetent means like the opposite.
Okay, so I just totally disrespected you while we're on air. All right, so give it up for our competent producer, Peter. As you see, we're not in the regular studio. We're on Zoom. Austin sprung up on us that he's putting new floors into the studio, which I'm ever so gracious about because it'll make it even easier to spot loose toenail clippings on the floor like I spotted at the end of the podcast, which ended the podcast, by the way. As I was saying, we found a whole toenail on the floor in the studio. I picked it up with my bare hands. I touched it with my bare hands. I could have been exposed to COVID the way I just nakedly touched it. And this guy, Austin, sat there and said, listen, that's not mine. That's not a toenail. And I said, Austin, then what is it? Because it's hard and it's shaped like a boomerang. I bet you if I flip this around the room, it'll come right back to me. And he's like, oh, no, it's not a toenail. Then he stops the production, gets on his knees and goes, damn, that's a toenail. I cleaned it out 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago, Pete. So you're just telling me miscellaneously a toenail was just sitting on the floor in the studio and nobody wanted to pick it up?
No, it was on your seat's your armrest of your seat. It was worse.
Peter, that doesn't make it. So you're telling me that the toenail wanted to get comfortable? It was there for so long. It was there for 5 weeks. Toenail said, yeah, I might as well get comfortable. It didn't even pay no rent. It just wanted to furnish the whole studio by itself. So it got on my seat and it made itself feel comfortable. That doesn't make it any better, Peter.
No, it doesn't. I'm saying it's worse.
There was a whole toenail.
Get up there.
A whole toenail on my seat while we were eating, by the way. While we were eating, Jair ever so graciously brought in sandwiches and hash browns and potato and mac salad. And I'm eating that. I feel something hard on my hand, dude. I feel it almost cut me, dude. I thought it was a diamond. I thought a diamond was on the armrest. And here I am looking at it's Austin's disgusting yellow pigmented toenail.
I mean, it was hard for me to believe that it actually wasn't a.
And you just sided with like, oh, that's not a toenail. You didn't even look at it, Peter. You didn't look at the toenail yet. You didn't even look at the disgust on my face to even believe that what I was looking at.
No, I did. What was weird was that like it was a solid white or ivory color. It was like really big. Like, I don't, maybe the toenail, like, because his toenail shed, because he stubbed his toe really bad.
Well, okay.
I didn't know it got like that, because it looked weird.
Right.
It was like, bigger.
Now, that's the information that you didn't share with me in the moment that his toenail shed, but you had that information in your head, and the first thing that you said was, no, it's not a toenail, it's a seashell.
It felt and looked like it because of how big it was. Like, it wasn't like, a little clip.
This guy is like...
piece.
He is like 80 yards away from a beach, granted, but no seashells is going to fly into the studio. And
it has like little decorations and stuff. The
placed itself on my seat. You're not going to do that.
Part, though. How did the toenail get up on your seat from 5 weeks?
Things don't come alive like that, Peter. This is not SpongeBob. What do you think? Is Finding Nemo?
How did the toenail get up there?
Peter, I don't know. Okay.
And nobody noticed it before. How did that happen?
I do not know. All I know is I touched it. No one was on my side. Jair was quiet, real quiet. until I showed it to him. You wanted to be, oh, no, he didn't do it. I didn't. You wanted to be all O.J. Simpson with it. I didn't do it. Richard Nixon, I'm not a crook. That's not a toenail. He didn't clip. And I was like, no. And the disgust that was in this hand. I bet you I washed this hand 260 times since last week. I just want you to know that. COVID or no COVID, this hand was getting washed, bleached. I mean, the toenail looked bleached itself. He looked like he soaked it in Sunny D.
Ugh.
It was an off-white toenail. That thing could have been sold for $2,000 on Etsy.
Yeah. Looked weird.
So I say all that to say, Peter, I am glad that I'm in my own room. I posted up in the corner. I was going to do the desk, but the desk wasn't that clean. I figured out that we were doing this show from home late, so here we are. But Peter, I am so glad that I'm in my own home. As I said, I got the lights set up. We got the lights set up. It's going to burn in my room. It's going to be 400 degrees by the end of the show. I can tell you that right now. I got the window open. Spring is here. Sprung is sprung. It's sundress season, so watch out, fellas. You're going to get a pleasant surprise when you walk outside. A lot of people getting the Pfizer, the Moderna, the Johnson & Johnson, which got sidelined yesterday. You see that, Peter?
What happened?
Johnson & Johnson, the vaccine got sidelined because they got blood clots. Clots going on. Imagine the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, a company that makes lotion, has the same effect as a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Can you imagine that?
That's weird. I'd rather just eat the Popeyes.
All right? I'd rather just give my money to a racial stereotype and a trope than take the Johnson & Johnson one shot. That's what happens when you get convenience. These people out here, oh, one shot. All you got to do is one shot. They take convenience and they switch it out with safety. Oh, it's just one shot. Oh, yeah, you take one shot. I can't feel half my body. One shot, my internal organs, they're failed. My aorta disintegrated like Thanos snapped his fingers. It's in the soul space now. Where did it go? Where did it go, people? How do you know that don't trust it? Get your vaccines, yes, but when people slide convenience to the forefront, when they say, yo, it's just one shot, oh, yo, you only got to take it one time, but yo, you don't even have to lose your house. You don't even have to leave your house. You're going to lose something. Your life, your money, your wife, whatever it is, if convenience is there, you're going to lose it. I don't even go to convenience stores. You're not going to trick me, convenience stores. I go into convenience stores. Oh, yeah, one-stop shop. It's quick. You go in there, you get robbed. What's the point? I can conveniently get robbed. That's what the convenience in the store stand for.
Uh-huh.
One-stop shop. Yeah, I'm going to bring all my money because I can get everything in the store. Well, guess what? Run your pockets. Run them. Oh, it's convenient for the robbers. Oh. Think our knowers. You got to think how you know. My guy, my best friend, James Martin, he got the shot yesterday. He said he wasn't worried because I believe the blood clotting was in 6 cases of 600,000 people taking it. It was either 600,000 or 600 million. I forget, but it was only.
I think it was 8 million or 6.8 million, something like that.
Okay, yeah, 6 million. He said there was only around 6 cases and 6 million. So your odds are pretty good. You know, your odds. You're looking all right on the odds, but I'll tell you, do not fall for the convenience, people. Watch out. That's how they get you.
Yeah, 6.8 million doses of Johnson & Johnson in the U.S.
Yep.
And there's 6 reported cases of this rare blood clot.
Rare blood clot. You know, it's very funny. It's very rare. But you know what's consistent? You know what's been consistent? Johnson & Johnson making stuff for people and it messing up. That's what's been consistent. You guys made talcum powder and gave people cancer.
Yeah.
Talcum powder. That's not even the worst powder that you can put into your body, near your body. Cocaine. Cocaine don't even do that.
Yeah, right?
Cocaine, you walk out the house feeling like Hulk Hogan for 20 minutes and you get a little sleepy. You get a little depressed. Johnson & Johnson baby powder with the fat baby. Well, that's Gerber. Excuse me. But with the J&J on front of it, you put a little bit of talcum powder on your balls because it's hot. You don't want to sweat. You don't want your fupa to get all sweaty. And then you go to the doctor. You got lumps in your lymph nodes from Johnson & Johnson. I got to make sure I'm not ashy. I got to put on lotion. All of a sudden, I got lumps. Watch for the convenience, people. Watch out for it. Beautiful day. A truck just went past my house over the speed limit. I am calling 411 right now, sir. Austin. Oh, this guy, Austin. You know, he can't be a part of the show, but he could be in the show.
Yeah, I mean, he could play a big role. I mean, he's doing his floors. I hope it's fun.
This guy's doing his floors. He wants to be doing it all. He wants to be Jesus. He wants to be controlling the show, and he wants to be a carpenter on the side. You know how the Jews feel about Jesus, Peter.
A lot of them like him.
I think there's a section of Jews that Messianic. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Messianic Jews.
The Messianic Jews. They love Jesus. Jesus is their man. Jesus is their Michael Jordan. I mean, they wear Jesus sandals. They're walking outside with long hair. They wear nothing but robes, I believe. Like they're Jesus freaks. But the whole Jewish community does not. They don't rock with.
They don't think he's the Messiah.
They don't think he's the Messiah. Yes, but the Jews that believe he is the Messiah, they get ousted by the Jewish community.
Yeah, I mean, the Messianic. You know, they're kind of.
Imagine not being able to attend Shabbat because you think Jesus is the man. Imagine that. Imagine not getting the last slice of kugel pie saved for you because you think the dude that raised himself from the dead at the age of 33. My brother's 35. He can barely get up from the couch without his bones cracking. You think that the man who raised himself from a grave at 33 is the man? And Dude's like, oh no, you don't. You can't come to Florida with us. Facebook, my aunt was commenting, oh, you look skinny, eat something. I'm like, I'm trying to talk about Sam Darnold getting traded from the Jets. Are you eating?
A couple trades.
Those clothes look too big for you. Listen, I'm trying to talk about Julian Edelman. We just got added to another site, I believe. Shout out Chris Angel for putting a Worldwide Sports Radio Network as his main sports page. On his page. I'm excited about that.
Chris Angel?
I'm not. We had a conversation about that in the group chat, and Errol talked to us about it. I'm still not. He didn't clarify it was like the Magic Chris Angel. He showed a picture of the dude. It kind of looked like Chris Angel. I mean, but 2011 Chris Angel had long hair, and that's not necessarily a style anymore. This guy has short hair. It kind of looked like him. I'm not sure, but I'll send you a screenshot of the page after we go to our first break. But we're on the page now, man. The content is bussing. We got it here. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We're on a track. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Almost.
Oh, man. But, yes, it's a beautiful day outside here in New York. Peter, what's been going on? Let's crack off with a big news story. What do you say?
Okay, what kind of news?
I mean, have you heard anything?
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's Johnson & Johnson. There was Jesus. There was.
Okay, now you're just giving a recap of the show. I'm saying, have you heard anything in the news recently?
Recently in the news, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, Dante Wright, you know, the footage came out of that.
Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this real quick. I have a lot to say about this, Peter. Yeah. First off, Bernie Madoff passed away yesterday. The biggest frauder passed away at 82. You know, if you're in jail for being a fraud at 82, how do we know he's dead?
Yeah.
This man got 160 years for duping people out. You best make sure you poke his body with a stick.
I mean, he only got prosecuted because he robbed from like other wealthy people.
Yeah,
like Wall Street people.
Do not take money out of the pockets of people who have the most money. That's how you get stepped on.
Yeah, bad.
That's how you get stepped on. When the little guy takes money from the big guy, that's bad. But this guy, I mean, could you say Bernie Madoff he wasn't a phony? Was he? I don't know his position before he invested all this money with these people, but people don't like a Robin Hood. And imagine a Robin Hood that is, they don't like the app Robin Hood, but they don't like our Robin Hood. The rich people, they don't. You taking money out of my pockets to disseminate it across people. You didn't even do that. You cut the money in your own pockets. You took the money, said, yeah, I got you. Just swallowed it whole. Knocked it back like a Pilsner Light with no regard for anybody else's accounts. This goes to show you, Peter, you can't trust the brother that went to Hofstra, okay?
He went to Hofstra.
You can't trust the brother that went on his breaks. He would go to Joe's Crab Shack.
I don't know. I don't know if Joe's was around back then.
But you know what I'm saying? You can't. No, you can't.
You went to Dizzy Lizards. I don't know if they were still open.
Dizzy Lizard. You got a Popeyes over there. You got a McDonald's over there that never looks open. It never looks open. It's on Hempstead Turnpike. You got the Nassau Coliseum, right? You can't trust the brother that went to school next door, Nassau Coliseum. This guy is in finance class right next door. The Harlem Globetrotters are doing a show. How can I trust you? I can't even trust the Harlem Globetrotters. The guy puts the ball in his shirt and disappears. Where'd it go? That's not real basketball. Bernie Madoff passed away, took a lot of money out of people's hands. At the age of 82, had a rough life too. Son passed away of cancer. So yeah, he's gone. He is gone. Let's make sure though. All right, because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So that's all I'm saying. Let's not have this be an Epstein situation. Let's get some verification. All right, Peter, holla at me about this Daunte Wright situation. Just give me a lowdown of all the information that you know, and then we can talk about it.
Brooklyn Center, Missouri. Yeah, it was a traffic stop. He was in his vehicle. And this police officer, Kimberly Potter, pulled him over and was yelling taser, taser, taser on the video at one point. Apparently it was pulled over. Was this the one? It gets so confusing because it seems like, when one case happens, like after a lull in news and stuff, there's news about another one. There's a Derek Chauvin trial. He did the George Floyd.
Yeah,
murdered him, knee to the neck, and it was awful. 8 or 9 minutes on the neck. That's ridiculous.
Which was not outlawed by Minnesota police. That was not outlawed in their practices. So you could put, I believe what I read, you could put your knee on someone's neck to subdue them. So that wasn't illegal, apparently, from what I heard. But continue. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying, but there were other illegal things about that.
Of course.
I mean, 9 minutes. That's bizarre to me, right? I mean, you could do anything else. There's so many other things you can do before you do that.
Yep.
For a minute, even, for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
But anyway, so he was just in his car, and obviously, it was over an air freshener, was it?
Okay, here's what I'm getting. These are the multiple stories that I heard. I initially heard that it was an air freshener that blocked the rear view window, was an obstruction of view. So they pulled him over for that. But then I heard that on social media. But when I'm watching the news, I heard that the police reported that they initially pulled him over because the tag on his license was expired. So it was an expired license. Police from time to time run tags on cars at random. And his tag came back expired. So that's why I heard he was pulled over. Then the police approach him. They run his name. They find out that he has a warrant for his arrest. Now, warrant. Here's the two sides of the story now. Because when you look up when I saw a video, a brother, this guy, he looked up like court cases in Minnesota, and he found Deontay Wright's He found his case number within the Minnesota courts. And he found out that his warrant was for weed, apparently. And that he only had a warrant out for his arrest because the warrant and the court date was sent to an address that wasn't Daunte Wright's. So when he didn't respond, they had a warrant out for his arrest. But now I'm hearing on the news that there was a warrant out for his arrest because he robbed a lady at gunpoint and choked her. So you watch the video, you watch the whole video, and you see that the officer screams, taser, taser, taser. Now, I understand that to a certain extent, cops don't have muscle memory. And I understand that, you know, to a certain extent, you're never going to, most of our jobs, regular people's jobs, we don't have life or death situations. When we're dealing with work, you're not going to have a life or death situation at Dunkin' Donuts. If you don't give me those 3 glazed and that 1 Bavarian cream, I'm going to bust a cap in your ass. We don't have that. So it is different for the police. But if you do not know the difference between a gun and or a taser, with 26 years on the police force, I don't care. Police, they have minimal gun training. Maybe you have to go to the range for 2 weeks, something like that. I'm not sure about that. But for 26 years, one thing that you should know is the difference between a gun and a taser. I know the difference between a paintball gun and a Nerf gun, son. I gotta know the difference. If I'm going to a party, my niece with a Nerf gun, I can't bring back an M16 to the party in the back.
Yeah.
M16 with clowns and a bouncy house. I pull over the M16, I shoot the M16, it bursts the bouncy house. I can't do that. And if you're a cop for 26 years and you're screaming taser, 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 that's saying to me that you're not caught up. You're not caught up in what's going on. Part of your brain is still saying, I have to be present in the moment. And saying taser, 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 and not feeling that weight difference, disregarding the color because that taser looks like a Sharpie marker, disregarding what you have to do, the amount of pressure that you have to put on the trigger.
Yeah.
If you mess up like that, just because you feel like there was imminent danger, whether or not, forget about the Daunte Wright situation, what else could you have done in a situation where a man wasn't resisting arrest because he has a warrant? That worries me because people say, oh, he resisted arrest. And yes, you resisted arrest. And Peter, let me tell you, as a black man who has people in the police, law enforcement, you do what the cops tell you to do. Now, that's a messed up thought because people say you do what the cops tell you to do because you're black. You don't want to be reminded you're black because that's a connection of slavery, and it's like all the things that you had to overcome. You have to think about that when the cops show up. You have to be quiet, and you have to be comprehensive with everything that they're saying. She messed up, regardless, from a police standpoint. If you're saying taser this, taser that, you can't tell the difference between a gun or a taser. And I get it. Someone is resisting arrest. They're resisting arrest when you tell them they have a warrant. You don't know what they're going to do because you feel like your safety might be in jeopardy. Your safety and the people around you safety is going to be in jeopardy. But if you're put in that certain scenario and that pressure, what else can happen when you're put in different scenarios that maybe someone without a warrant or someone who doesn't pose to be a threat? Are you going to get jumbled? Is something like that going to happen again?
Yeah.
That's my concern. Your experience, your poise has to be there as a police officer.
He wasn't even attacking her. So like, I mean,
well, no, I'm not going to say that because listen, you with your partners, you got 3 cops on the scene. You don't know what he has in the car. You're trying to control him. You're trying to maintain him. There's a certain point where I'll give our cops consideration because it's a 2-way street. Me as a man, I have to comply to make them feel safe so that they can do their job. I got to give them a little bit of respect. I may not like you, but I always give you respect. That's what it is. Or courtesy.
I got that. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it wasn't like lashing out at her or anything like that.
That's when you get specific to what happened into the situation. But this is my problem.
Yeah.
Because now we have people that say, "Oh, even if you're resisting arrest does not warrant your death." Absolutely true.
Yeah.
But what are we telling our black people now? What are we teaching them? We get it.
Well, I mean,
Well, yeah, but what are we saying when we say that? Resist the cops. Do this, do that. Do not comply with them, because we know the end result. And again, as I said, we know the end result because of the color of our skin, and you don't want to be reminded of that because that's the slavery times and everything I overcame and stuff like that. That gets tiring. I don't want to hear about the color of my skin because you're pulling me over because I could be a possible threat. So I get it. I get it. I get why people are like that. It's like, nah, forget the police. They're your threat. Now, I have to tell you, I probably understand why he would have did it in this situation, because you're 10 miles from where George Floyd happened. And you're 10 miles and maybe 5 years removed from where Philando Castile happened. Yeah. Where he warned the officer that he had a gun in the car. He said, don't reach for it, and he shot him. You don't know what happened. You don't have the body cam footage inside the car, how quick his movements were. But you have all that. And you have the sentiments of black people and the police are at heads. They're at war. You have all that. So I say to myself, is this a result of the media and the sentiments put out there? Could a young black kid really believe that, I gotta get away from the police because I'm gonna end up dead? Go ahead.
Yeah, the Philando Castile, I mean, I actually saw it. Yeah, like there's the camera of, the outside the car.
Yeah.
And there's the camera that, the live stream that whoever was in the car, it was his relative or girlfriend or something like that, inside the car as well. So, yeah, it was kind of bizarre. I mean, why that would have happened.
You don't know why. You have speculation. I'm not putting it past racism, because this country has showed us well and true and time again that racism does play a part in these situations.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
I'm not one to say it's racism every time. I'm not. I want all the facts.
No, you have to be fair about it. No matter what the situation is, you have to be fair about it.
But now you're getting all these overwhelming facts. Oh, he had a warrant out for his arrest. No, the Minnesota government messed up. Oh no, it was he actually had a warrant out for his arrest. Why did he get pulled over in the first place? Oh, expired tags. No, it was just air freshener covering the rear window. There's so many factors that we don't know now, and now we react. We react without actually knowing. Racism, to me, it's in the back of my head. It's in the back of my head because that's a fail-safe answer. Oh, you know what they're doing out there again? Racism. I get that. That's a fail-safe answer to me. It's never at the forefront of something. But if I want to get down to it, I want the real answer. I want what really happened, what really went down. So now we have all these spiraling facts, and this is going to lead to Black Lives Matter movements sparking up, running with the facts, and then it's going to lead to the other side of the media creating counterparts of Black Lives Matter, defamating on Dante's personality, or presenting facts that go against what Black Lives Matter says. Because now you're saying, oh, Dante, he was taught by George Floyd's girlfriend, and everything is connected now. Let's slow up. Stop making accusations on both sides. Sit down, get the facts, then we can get down to it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't say anything you don't know, but
you don't.
I mean, what I do know from the footage, I mean, yeah, that was a bit much. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how can't you? I shot guns before, and yeah, it's not that easy. It's not. I don't. Obviously, you go to the range more often than they'll go to the range. I would imagine more often. I would hope more often than I do, and then to learn to be more careful and it's better, more responsible with it. But yeah, the weight difference, the taser, and that And just the way that all happened, I mean, just to immediately go for that. And the whole excuse of, oh, well, I was young, taser, so after an accident, oh my God, I shot him with my gun. I don't know. It looks weird to me. It's something.
Yeah, that the way she reacted like she was a rookie, dude. I thought the way she said it on camera, I'm like, okay, that was definitely a rookie. I go online, I found out you got 26 years in the game.
Seriously.
That is my life plus 3. 26.
It's my life.
You've been doing it longer than Bill Cosby has been out here in these streets fondling.
Was it only that recent?
What do you mean?
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby, ever since the Cosby Show, dude. People in show business does not rock with Cosby.
Oh, okay.
Ever since
that was like,
it was a low key thing, and everything that he was doing was being like overshadowed because he would give back to black schools and he would donate a lot. But it was a known thing. But you got 26 years on the job.
Yeah.
And you can't tell the difference between a gun and a taser. And now the chief wanted to retire, and she wanted to retire. You think you're gonna get that pension? No. Public is not done with you. I was talking to my boy who's a cop. He was like, "Yo, police don't get gun training." I understand that, but even if I mess up in my regular job, if I work at the airport and you go, "Hey, can I get a ticket to Fiji?" and then I give you a ticket to Russia, and I don't notice. You think I'm keeping my job after that? No, Spirit Airlines is going to fire me on site. And I'm not even sure if Spirit Airlines go to Fiji, but it seems like the type of airlines that would go to Russia.
I don't know if they do.
No. I heard she's being charged with I heard she's being charged with manslaughter, and with that type of judgment, dude, I don't know what's going to happen, but she needs to be reprimanded in some way. Some type of way. I'm telling you, Peter, with this Derek Chauvin case that's going on now, they're saying, oh, the cops felt threatened because of the public, and they didn't know what the public was going to do, so they let Derek Chauvin have his knee on his neck. And then now the cop that shot Jacob Blake is back to work without any consequences. If this Derek Chauvin case, if he doesn't get charged guilty, Northwestern America is going to go up in flames. Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, that happened with Jacob Blake was Wisconsin. You can't have this. They better find Derek Chauvin guilty, or it's gonna get bad, real bad, son, real bad.
And
what is with white women who are cops mistaking stuff for what it's really not? Remember that white cop in Dallas? She walked into the black man's apartment who lives in her same apartment complex, and she shot him because, oh, I thought it was my apartment. I thought he was burglarizing my apartment. And now she's saying, oh, I thought it was a gun. I thought it was a Is this why white food is not good? Because y'all mistaken paprika or raisins for salt? You know, white women like to put paprika and raisins in everything. What is the problem? What is the problem? It's always, oh, I thought, oh, this, that. Baker, you can't mess up in Minnesota. You can't. You had to be on your A game at least until the Derek Chauvin case is over. Cops had to be. All you had to do was show up to work, get a donut, and that's it. Try to be on your best behavior. But now you have this. Now you have this case. I don't know what's going down in Minnesota. It could have been because Alex Rodriguez wanted to buy the Timberwolves, and he just coming off a J-Lo marriage, and he couldn't solidify that. I mean, J-Lo had a lot of marriages, but with Alex Rodriguez, you thought that would have worked out. Now they split up, so now he probably bringing some of her energy, her fission and fraction energy over there to Minnesota. But dude. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of not having an answer to these questions of what happened, and it's never definite. And then you have two sides who just push the narrative that they want to happen. Let's just look at the facts, dude. I know for a fact racism is involved in policing, but I also know for a fact that all the things that end up with unarmed black people getting shot are not directly correlated to because the cops wanted to kill a black person. Simple and plain. Not all of them are like that.
The officer did resign though, and the police chief. Yeah.
Nope, they're not done with them. He maybe can resign, but I'm telling you, the public's not done with her.
No, I wouldn't be. I mean, yeah, I'm not done with her. I mean, that's not good at all. But yeah, and everyone's talking about now how actually Daunte Wright, he never met George Floyd, but George Floyd's girlfriend was Wright's teacher in high school.
Yep.
And what was it? It was Emmett Till. What was the thing with Emmett Till? There was a connection.
My homie just posted that on the story. Give me a second.
Okay.
I just saw it like 2 minutes ago. Let's go Eagle Wit. Fred Hampton's mom babysat Emmett Till.
Yeah, and you know how the Emmett Till story got like widely known?
Why?
Because the United States. I'm sorry.
His mother. Well, I mean, it got well known because his mother had his casket open, and then she displayed what they did to Emmett Till and like how badly like dysmorphed his body was, and that makes sense because Fred Hampton's out of Chicago, and Emmett Till was visiting his relatives down south, and he was from Chicago, so.
Yeah, and the thing was that what happened was that the Emmett Till died, and then like all of a sudden the I think it was from the U.S. they sent the picture to the Soviet Union, and during that time the U.S. had the whole propaganda campaign about the Soviet Union, stuff they didn't even know whether or not it was true or not. So the Soviet Union just like took Emmett Till's bloody picture where he looked when he died.
Mm.
I saw the picture just now, and it's awful. And just sent it all over the world to show the hypocrisy that the U.S. government was projecting on their enemies. And that's how that whole case got known around the world, and even in the country.
Yeah, man. It was you have these connections. You see the connections between his mother and black people are connected, man. We connected.
Yeah, that's
why do you think every black brother, when you see black people walking down the street, you got that nod? Because we understand. We understand the hatred that was put against us, the oppression.
Yeah,
I go through the same thing that you go through. When I wake up in the morning, that nod means when we wake up in the morning, we have the same thought. No matter how different our families are, or our backgrounds, or our jobs, we have the same thought of like, okay, I have to consider what the color of my skin, how that's going to affect my life today. And you, welcome to the club, buddy, because you, Peter, been feeling that recently in America.
I mean,
when Asians wake up, they wipe the crust out of their eye, and you go, I wonder if I'm going to get knocked out on the streets today, at random. So you guys, welcome to the club, because you start to feel a little bit of that. But over 400 years, you start to develop a camaraderie. A silent one, but there's a connection there regardless,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those situations, where they just, create a very bigoted atmosphere for people. I mean, the Asian thing, that's been a problem, for a very long time as well. And
1882, y'all couldn't come into this country.
Yeah.
They felt that you guys were too experienced, and that when you came over to this country, you were taking jobs. You were the OG Mexicans. You guys were coming over here doing math, being engineers, and you were hungrier because you wanted it, because you came over from eating rice and getting stung by bees, and 3 days later you were dead. So you came over here and you wanted it. And America got jealous. They said, nah, 1882, cut them out. Cut them out. Who was the president then?
82.
1882. I'm not sure, but they cut you out the deal, son.
Chester A. Arthur.
Yeah, Chester A. That's the most American name I've ever heard of. Chester A. Arthur.
That's one of the ones you don't really hear about at all.
If you got a vowel, if the two last letters in your name is a vowel and an R, son, a little bit racist. Just a little bit. Your first name and your last name got an E-R-A-R? But you feel it, man. It's camaraderie, and I don't know what's going to go on. Rest in peace to Dante Wright, man. He did not deserve to die, of course. We always say this. Did not deserve to pass away.
Yeah.
But we need answers as a society. We need answers because I'm sick of seeing it was the police and no, black people don't resist. I'm tired of trying to pump up every argument. Just give me a finite. This is what it is. This is what happened. And stop.
I think if we look into things more like MLK did later on in his life, that perhaps contributed to his death. I mean,
perhaps.
I'm sorry.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that did, but one of the things, he started to see the situation with civil rights and why it's like this. He started seeing things economically, and that's why he did the whole Poor People's Campaign or march, whatever. And and then he essentially died on the picket line because he was I forgot where he was. Georgia,
Memphis,
Alabama?
Tennessee.
Where did they locate that?
Memphis and Motel.
Yeah, he was in Tennessee, Brazos Hotel. He was there for the demonstrations. He essentially died on the picket line. And for the poor and oppressed people of the country. And when you look at it in that way, you kind of start to make connections of why these things were set up this way. It's what the black radicals of the 30s and the 40s, 60s, what they, Harry Haywood, Paul Robeson, the Renaissance man himself, Paul Robeson, Angela Davis, it's what they believed. They were, the big thing here. What's his name? Oh my God, Nelson Peary, Harry Haywood. I said, they understood these things, and that's that needs to get more into the I don't know what's the word, not the lexicon maybe, but the maybe it's the lexicon or something. I don't know.
Lexicon.
Lexicon, but the consciousness, the general public understanding. It needs to be going more towards that. That's how you fix it. You get to the root of the problem, and you just kill it.
Get to the root of the problem and stop rooting for the problem. I think we need to start getting to the root of the problem. Stop rooting for the problem. Whether it's it's the cops, no, it's black people, no, it's the way. No, let's just get down to what it is, dude. Let's get down to the specifics, every situation, and let's just reassess it from there. But if we just start off on one side and we can't force ourselves to the other or opening up her perspective, nothing's going to get changed. So, yes, rest in peace to him.
You have to understand, who's actually your friend and who's actually your enemy. For a lot of the working class people of all ethnicities and races, Trump's not your friend, and for the people who might be more middle class, more upper class, they care about people. Joe Biden and the Democrats aren't your friend either. They're all screwing you over. Trump said he's going to build up infrastructure. He's going to pull us out of the wars. He's going to do everything to help the economy and everybody's lives.
Yeah.
He did none of that.
Yeah.
And people have to stop making excuses for him, and people have to stop making excuses for Biden.
Yeah.
He could have an executive order. He said the first day, I'm going to eliminate all student debt. And now he lowered the amount to a level where it has to get congressional approval. What Trump did, he had an executive order to take money from the Pentagon to build the rest of the wall that was already up there since the 90s, but to build more of it. And why can't Joe Biden do that? Why does he seem so weak and incompetent? There's
Well,
that
I'll
world.
give you a reason why he's weak, Peter. The man is like 77 years old. All right. The first executive order that he should have done is to executively get his team a lifetime supply of Depends because the man is going to need it. I'm not sure if he can reach the toilet, but Peter, I can tell you this much: that they're both old. All right, they're both old men. That's what it is. Peter, let's move on to sports because right now this podcast is sponsored by Antifa, and if we talk anymore, I think our connection is going to go down. And next thing you know, we're going to be in some Soviet basement being waterboarded with alcohol. So, yeah.
Why would they waterboard by the Soviets?
I don't know. I'm not even sure what part Antifa. Who are they with? I don't know. But maybe their headquarters in Seattle in a rundown Starbucks. I don't know, Peter. But let's get on to the sports segment. Rest in peace, Dante Wright. Yeah, man. It's a sad story, but we're gonna move on. Let's go do a quick break, and then we'll
break.
Yeah, and then we'll get into these sports stories. This has been How You Know, Jared Harvin, Peter Lewis. We'll be right back.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to How You Know, people. Peter, let's get into the sports, son.
Well, really quick, I just want to put in some, nicer news. I know we had the break and all, but I just wanted to back on here. I just want to put out something more pleasant than what we're talking about. I wanted to say that this past Monday, 2 days ago, was the 60th anniversary of the invention of space travel. Yuri Gagarin went up in Vostok 1 spacecraft and went over, an orbit around Earth, for over an hour. And it was a big moment for the world. That changed history. So there was that. I did miss that news before, but now we can get into the sports.
Peter, if you ever try to bring the beat or the tempo of this show up again, we're going to have a conversation. We're not one of these fake shows that tries to keep it up and keep it all happy. Wherever the conversation goes, it goes. It's how you know. It's genuine, it's real because it's thoughts. The first thoughts you got. You don't know. You ask questions. Sometimes questions get dark. Sometimes they get light.
Of course.
But we're not the Teletubbies here. We're not the Wiggles, all right? We don't curse. We don't curse. Yes, we're PC about sometimes we don't curse. Other times people want to say the F word like 3 times in a row and not realize they're doing it. So, I can't curse. F. I got a taser. It's really a gun. You're not supposed to do that. Peter.
But it was on my mind. I did miss it before, so.
It's the flow of the show, baby. This is how it goes. You ain't gotta apologize to bring it back up. We'll do that. We're funny. It's comedy. It's how the show flows. You can't force the comedy. You can't do that. No one likes when you force comedy. Have you seen Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Is the comedy forced to you?
No.
Have you seen Jackass?
I have seen Jackass, yes.
Comedy forced to you?
I mean, it's there. It's just the videos and, they do their crazy stunts.
Damn it, dude. Just say yes once in a while, dude.
Well, I don't know if it's forced.
Oh, my God.
But I do laugh a lot at Jackass.
All right, Peter. Let's get into these stories. Listen, Peter, it was a big week for you. Big week for your people. You know why?
Why?
Do you know why, Peter? I'll tell you right now.
Tell me.
My man, brother from another mother, my man Hideki Matsuyama has won the Masters, the 2021 Masters, making him the first. Hold on, let me read it. He's the first Japanese player and the first Asian-born player to win the tournament. Peter, how do you feel? You are Chinese, but with everything that's been going on, you see an Asian man with this type of representation. How does it feel, dude? In golf.
I mean, it's not going to change everything, but it's nice to see. It's good to see.
Peter, it might be revolutionary now. It is nice to see, but like, tell us how you really. Because honestly, for a while, I thought the only golf that Japanese people were good at was the one where you play on the Wii.
Wii Sports.
I thought that was the only form of sport that they were good at. But Peter, here he comes in the South. For this guy was asking for tempura fried chicken, not the Southern kind, and he messed up. And he messes up the Augusta. He messed up the Masters, which I'm not sure if that's allowed to have a place in the South called the Masters, and to have a black man play on it and call it, I mastered the Masters. I'm not sure if that's like a racial tendencies there, but dude. This is big, Peter. This is real big.
Sure. No, I mean, it is. It's good to see. I mean, yeah, because, you'll see Tiger, you'll see other players, a lot of Americans. I mean, I'm looking down the list here, the leaderboard for the PGA season.
Dude,
the Masters.
What if golf was always destined to be dominated by Asians? What if this is because Tiger? That's an Asian name. When someone says Tiger, you think okay, Asia because of Asian Tiger, or Tiger Showman's, which is karate, which is created and used by Asians.
I mean, Tiger Showman's wasn't, but yeah.
Yes, but you get what I'm saying. I didn't say Tiger Showman's was, but
yeah, no, I know.
He's teaching karate, Peter.
Of course, yeah. Just to be clear. Yeah.
Yo, Peter. What if this is the changing of the garb? What if this is the torch getting handed down?
Yeah, maybe I'll be playing golf for the first time. I haven't played mini golf, and my whole life most of my life I lived in Bethpage at Tiger Woods, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump's favorite golf course.
Yeah.
At the Bethpage, next to the Bethpage State Park, the Bethpage Black course. And it's their favorite one, all three of them, because it's very difficult. And I never played golf. I'm at my house in Hampton Bays that my family had before I was even born. They had the famous, the Shinnecock Hills tournament and stuff that Austin and I were talking about. I think Austin State was helping out the last one a couple years ago. Never played golf around there. There's driving ranges everywhere. There's country clubs and golf all over the place. But I have never stepped foot on one of them. I mean, the closest I got to that was at Bethpage, the restaurant at the golf course, Corral on the Green, or at least one of them. But to pick up a paycheck for my valet job that I used to have, like my second year in college, first at Brooklyn College. So maybe this is the moment. Maybe this is it.
Bethpage Black, Augusta Masters. You had Tiger, who's a black man, but also Asian. And then now you got Hideki. What if golf was really meant to be mastered by someone who is black or Asian?
Asian. That's definitely not the stereotype in the U.S.
Bethpage Black, and people view golf as a white sport, but it's really not, because everyone who grows older, no matter what their color is, they love golf. Steph Curry loves golf. It's a very patient game. You're outside, you're looking at greenery, something that you don't get to see if you're living in the city or stuff like that. It's nice, quaint. You get to think, clear your mind. It's one of these sports where if you're always on the run, like that's why a lot of football players and basketball players love it, because your mind does not have to be fine-tuned as to focus on, I got to tackle him, I got to pass the ball at this time. Nah, take your time and figure out what you got to do. Where exactly how this whole is constructed. Hey yo, how the hill rolls down. What type of iron am I going to use? You get to take time. Take your time. Reflect. A lot of people love that. Which is a lot. Which something is not a lot of black people get to do. Take your time and reflect. Nah, you got to go out there, perform. I can't reflect on myself. I can't look at myself in the mirror for 15 minutes. Go, oh, you're doing good today, buddy. No, I can't do that. I got to go out and make people laugh. I got to be the cool guy all the time. I got to have the cleanest sneakers. And especially Asians now. You guys can't relax. You got to watch your back. And you guys are running businesses. There are a lot of businesses which you have been affected the most because of COVID. And you're finding your ways. This sport is destined for people who are always on their toes. It allows them to give them a break. Think about it, man. You got Stop Asian Hate. All of a sudden, Hideki Matsuyama wins the Masters. First Asian to do so. Wins it. Dude, golf is like the racial balance within the universe. Because think about it. Stop Asian Hate, right? You have Hideki wins. Black Lives Matter starts to do good. Starts to pop off. What happens to Tiger? What happened to Tiger?
Terrible accident.
This man nearly broke every bone in his body. Walking around all stiff like he Tony Stark. Golf is the racial balance in this country. Think about it, Peter.
I mean, it's funny. All kinds of NHL players, no matter where they're from in the world, I mean, they usually play golf in the off season.
Yep. You get to balance out your mind. Another Rory McIlroy, where he's from? He's Scotland?
Sounds like it could be.
He was at the top of the game for a while. Where is he from? He's from the United. He's from the United Kingdom. Never mind. I thought he was Scottish.
Yeah, it's Scottish. That's UK.
Wait, Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland.
Oh, Northern Ireland. Okay, yeah, UK. Yeah.
You know how the Irish be drunk? You know the amount of pressure they under? They don't get to think. They don't get to stay there. Oh my God. Let me think about the clouds and look how they don't get to do that. Rory is their savior. Golf is the racial balance or ethnic balance. Sure.
I mean, the Irish, it's
Peter, this is big. I'll tell you right now, you better hope Polish people don't get knocked out because Polish are going to be on the rise. It could be anybody.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean,
all these golf courses about to be smelling like kielbasa.
Won't be too bad.
Dude, this is big, man. Hideki Matsuyama. I realize where he's from, like the town in which he's from or where he was born in, it's the same as his last name. Is that custom in?
Oh, okay.
It's weird because I know in China their last name is their first name, so like you have more honor. Is more honor in family, so they present.
Yeah, the family name is said first. My father would be like Loy Hoi Tong.
Yeah,
because our Chinese name is Loy, not Louis. It's Loy. And, I mean, a lot of places do that. I mean, obviously, we know Leonardo da Vinci. He's from Vinci. He's of Vinci. I don't know if that's necessarily a typical Japanese custom or if it's an old one. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. Yeah. He was born in Matsuyama, Ehime, Japan. Ehime.
Okay. Yeah,
man.
Prefecture, largest city.
You take where Asians take their name seriously, man.
Yeah.
Their names are where they come from. There's a lot of pride, but when they move to the United States, all that gets dropped off. They want you guys to be good. So they don't want no Hideki. They want a Peter, a Dan, a Rob, a Phil. As long as if that means success, slide that name in there, buddy. Slide it right in there.
You know what's funny? My father's family alone, not even just like, not even counting like our extended family and cousin stuff, but just like his family. It was, 6, 7 kids? I'm not going to count right now. But like my grandma's family had like 11 kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of my father and his siblings' names like were the same names as my grandmother's siblings on my mom's side. That is, not talking my mom's side, my father's side, and because we had a lawyer, Mr. Berger, who like part of my great grandfather and part of my family came to the U.S. first, and for easier processing and stuff, Mr. Berger just had our family name changed from Loy to Lewis, and that also gave us the other American names, like personal names, like my dad's American name is Howard, and there's Lily, there's Margaret, there's Johnny, there's Eddie, there's Mary, Francis, and I think I got everyone there. But yeah, it's that's not what I expect.
Peter doesn't fit your aesthetic, man. You had to have name translators. This guy translated your name like you were going up to Canada. They're giving you rubles for dollars. So I knew that's how it is, man.
I think the Canadian currency is the Canadian dollar.
What?
I don't think that rubles is the Canadian currency.
Peter, I was just messing around, kid. It's probably Russia or something like that. But ruble sounds like a form of currency that not everyone would have. As I'm saying, you can't go from you can't. I was going to say something that probably would have sounded racist. But what is like a traditional Chinese name in China?
I don't know. You can say Chen or Chan. I don't know.
No, like a first name.
Okay. I don't know. You could say I don't know. Hoy, is part of it.
Hoy?
Yeah, you say Hoy.
Hoy. Okay, you can't go from Hoy to Franklin. All right, that's a big leap, son.
Of course,
that's a real big leap. So what I'm saying to you, Peter, is this is so big because it neglects America. It neglects Asians trying to be accepted by America, and in fact forces America to accept Asians. And not only for the current state, but just like in general. Because it's a way to break down borders, especially with food. You see that with food. If something's good, if Chef Roy Tong to whip me up some octopus, son, some octopus pizza, dude, it opens my mind up to other cultures. Chinese cultures, how'd you grow up? What different type of spices did you use? Your heritage. This is a form of that. And especially during this Stop Asian Hate time, it's a real dope thing to see.
Yeah, it's a big moment, especially it's highlighted by that.
Yeah, it is highlighted by it. So congratulations to him, man. He did it up well. We got this other sports story, man.
Sam Darnold?
What happened?
You want to go on to Sam Darnold?
No, we talked about Sam Darnold. Whoa, it's Darnold, kid. Watch your mouth.
Darnold, sorry.
Watch your mouth. Or I'll get Errol Marks to come over here and beat you up. All right?
I know he likes him.
No, we talked about Sam Darnold on the last show. I want to talk about Julian Edelman.
Okay.
Julian Edelman, as you may know, is wide receiver formerly a wide receiver for the New England Patriots. A longtime compadre of Tom Brady, well and long before he took his trip down to Tampa Bay. It was very key in the championships that he got with Tom Brady. He was a leader, 7th rounder, worked and hustled to get himself to where he needed to be. Recently, he failed his physical. And the Patriots released him. And that was a technicality so that he could retire. And my thing is, how do you know he's going to retire? You got to understand, he comes from the New England Patriots. And the New England Patriots, if there was any team that was mischievous and salty and under the rug, it was them. All right? If it came down to me trusting Zemo from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or trust any member of the personnel of the New England Patriots, I'm trusting Zemo. The guy who tried to break up the Avengers, I'm trusting them because you just can't trust a Patriot. You really can't. Hercules Mulligan, key guy, real key guy. In order to beat the English in the Revolutionary War, he was a spy. Big old spy. Up in New York, pretending to be, can I have a water, please? Can I have a water, please? He was American. Patriots go down and dirty to get what they need to get done. And he's coming from that culture. And especially with Rob Gronkowski, what he did, the man retired. So he couldn't get traded to the Detroit Lions. Now, I understand, Detroit, messed up city. You don't want to go there. But he retired in order not to get traded. And what did he do? Oh, Tom's going to Tampa Bay. I'm coming out of retirement. Boom. How do we know Julian Edelman's not doing the same thing? How? Because the story seems fishy. Julian Edelman failed a physical. How old is he, Peter? Can you look that up for me?
Edelman is, I believe, 34.
34 years old. You could pass a physical. You may be getting blown by some of these guys that are coming out of Ohio State, all pepped up on Pop-Tarts and Takis. All right, but you can pass a physical. Every time I looked at Julian Edelman, the man's veins were coming out of his arms, dude. Every time I looked at him, he looked like he was about to donate blood to some sick kids at the local Boston hospital. Like they want to take his blood. He legitimately looked like Bane in the George Clooney Batman. Every time I look at his arms. Are you telling me that guy failed a physical? Get the f*** out of here, dude. You didn't fail no goddamn physical. What you're doing is you're getting ready for retirement. Where do people retire, Peter? Where do old people retire? Who's old for the NFL? Where do old people retire?
Florida.
Thank you. And Jewish people go down there too. And with the last name like Edelman, I can only assume. But check that for me, Peter.
I mean, he's Jewish, yeah. But I know. My dad's coworker got my father to move with him to Plainview. I mean, he moved to Vegas, but most of it's Florida.
Wait, what? Repeat that last part. What do you say?
My father's coworker, who's Jewish, who got him to move out to from Brooklyn to Nassau, Plainview. He actually, Ira, his name is, ended up moving to Vegas. But yeah, most of it is a lot of it is Florida.
What does that have to do with Edelman? Wait, is the
no?
guy's
You're
last
saying Jewish
Edelman?
people retire to Florida.
Oh, okay, yeah. But Peter, that man's not retiring.
Yeah,
that man. You see, Tom Brady, man, is 43 years old. Yeah, he may inject like Gwyneth Paltrow's blood into his body because I don't know what the hell Gwyneth Paltrow is on, but this lady's making candles that smell like her vagina. That's something that you can only do if you have access to like a fountain of youth. I don't care. Honestly.
Yeah.
You see what Tom Brady's doing down there in South Beach? Tom Brady's like 55 years old. Tom Brady got an AARP card. Tom Brady can eat for free before 3 at a Sizzlers.
I miss Sizzlers.
Which is only available where, Peter?
Florida and Puerto Rico.
Shout out Puerto Rico, baby. Peter, it's simple. You can't trust a Patriot. And when a Patriot says they're retiring, don't believe them. Can't trust it.
You can't.
This man, he says he's retiring. If he does, good for him. Logically, the only 2 places I see him going is Tampa because he has Tom down there, he has Rob, or I can see him going back to where he grew up. I believe he grew up in the San Francisco area. I think Edelman took Jerry Rice's daughter to prom. I think he did that. So Edelman was there's a reason. There's a reason why he got those sticky hands, son. And that's not what okay, wait, that sounds wrong. There's a reason why he was around Jerry Rice, so he was trained to that. Okay, yeah, that sounds wrong.
We get it. Don't worry.
That's but you know what happens on prom night, so I didn't want to insinuate that. But what I'm saying is, Peter, This man has been dealing with legends ever since the age of 16. And he might want to go back home just to enjoy that, you know? Every athlete deserves that, playing in your hometown.
You said you grew up in San Fran, you said?
I believe he grew up in the Northern California area, so I believe.
Yeah, so there's also a bunch of sizzlers out west, starting like New Mexico. So, and there's a lot in Cali, including the Bay Area. So, yeah, definitely a lot of sizzlers to choose from out there. Out west.
I don't trust them. This is a ploy. This is a ploy. He's gonna dupe out, and then literally, it's gonna be 2 minutes before opening season, the opening game for the Buccaneers. Literally 2 minutes. You're gonna see Julian Edelman run on the field. People are gonna be like, "Oh, he's not even signed yet," and then the GM's gonna walk out on the field with him with a piece of paper, like, "Nah, it's laminated." Don't trust him. 34. You sign yourself a nice little 2-year contract. I'm not sure if he has a family. I mean, I think he has a wife or maybe a little girl.
Yeah.
Move down there for 2 years. Do a little 2-year this, and that. Have your little fun. Enjoy the Florida weather. Then you can go flutter off wherever else you want to go to. But you have a good chance of getting 2 rings. Good chance of getting 2 rings. And I don't believe you failed the physical, dude. I don't believe that for one bit. You Julian Edelman, son. Don't believe it.
You think he's joining Gronk and Tom?
He's gonna do it. I have a feeling he's gonna do it. This would be it wouldn't be a New England Patriots story without some mischievism.
Yeah.
Without a little bit of chicanery. You feel me?
I feel you.
Of course, Bill Belichick's not gonna say nothing about this. But Belichick's gonna be like, "Oh, well, yeah, you got
he's in on it."
That's it. And you want to play for someone like Bruce Arians. You want to play for someone that wears a Kangol hat. You look at that brother, you go, "Oh, I bet he let me play some music with the N-word in the locker room. He looks cool. I bet you he let me eat a whole pizza on my off day. I bet you he probably has tapings of Soul Train that he watches before he goes to bed. He looks like a cool brother. It's got like a Louisiana Creole accent. Well, I'm gonna go down there and give him a ball and some crawfish. He's cool. And you look at Bill Belichick. It's like, yo, what's good with all this assistant principal energy, dude? Lighten up. Why are you cutting the sleeves off your sweatshirts? You're in New England, dude. You're cold. Julian's not slick, man. Julian, you're not slick. You're not slick. I don't think I've ever even met another brother named Julian. The only Julian I knew was when Dylan and Cole Sprouse played Julian and Big Daddy. I don't know enough Julians, but I know if you're a Patriot, son, you're a Patriot. I know all that. And you're going to do whatever it takes to win. Whatever it takes to win. All right, Peter. You got about a minute and a half to take us out on whatever hockey news you want.
Right. So Islanders, I'm going to read right from CBS Sports. Wednesday, so last week after the show, my sister texted me saying that this with a screenshot. Oh, what's up? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that. That's it. So last week after the show was on Wednesday, I was on a job, and my sister texted me a screenshot from her phone with a notification that said that Islanders trade, AJ Greer and Mason Jobst and 2 picks for the New Jersey Devils, Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac. This is a big deal because Palmieri is 31, Zajac is, I believe he's 35 right now, maybe 34. But they are in it. Lou Lamoriello, Islanders GM, he is all in for the Islanders. Zajac is 35, and he has all his cap space from Anders Lee's ACL injury, and he's rewarded their good play since that injury, their captain going down, with these 2 picks because he's got to let cap space freed up. And this could be it. This could be the moment. I mean, they're really good players. They're still playing extremely well, and even Kyle got a goal the other night against the Rangers, which the Islanders ended up winning. Power play goal. And this is really exciting. I mean, they just had to give up the 2 prospects, AJ Greer, who played for Colorado last season, and Mason Jobst, who used to be the Ohio State ice hockey captain. I saw him play last season, the preseason, with my sister. He scored the overtime game-winning goal against the Flyers against JF Berube. I have the video of it in my Instagram stories on one of the highlights. And I mean, this is really amazing. I mean, Lou has wanted to be reunited with Travis Zajac because Lou was the longtime Devils GM, won 3 cups with them. And Lou wanted to be reunited with Travis Zajac ever since he left New Jersey. He wanted, when Lou was up in Toronto with the Maple Leafs, he wanted Zajac up there apparently. The contract was pretty big, and that could have been a problem. But now he's reunited with Zajac and Kyle Palmieri, who he actually didn't trade for. That was Ray Shero, the GM, right after him, like a month after Lou left. And I mean, I'm really excited for this. They're playing very well still. They've won 2 games with them already, 2 out of 3. And this is big news. I mean, Kyle Palmieri is the first Long Island-born player to play for the Islanders.
Where's he coming out of?
He was born in Smithtown, and then until he lived in Emo, East Mauritius, until he was 3. He lived there for 2 years. And then he grew up in New Jersey for...
Hold on. Yeah. Did you just call East Mauritius Emo?
Yeah, that's what they call it, Emo.
Who is they?
People in the Hamptons, out east here.
All right. Yeah, I've never heard that before, Peter. But I think we're gonna end on that because you just emo. We're gonna end on that one. Yeah, Islanders making a trade with the Devils. It's just another case of New York copying Jersey because after Jersey legalized weed, New York was not too far behind.
That's right.
So yeah. Shout out to the Islanders, man. What's their record now? I saw they won recently.
It's let me check really, really quick. But they, they're 27 wins, 11 losses, and 4 overtime losses. So
okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty.
They're really good. You know,
that's really
good.
Man.
I believe they're tied.
Every time they went against them, they beat down Boston.
Yeah, it's true. So far, that's how it's been. And Bruins are doing okay. I mean, they're probably gonna make the playoffs, but yeah, the Islanders just seem to like to beat them. Mm-hmm. And but I was gonna say really quick.
Wait, your minute and a half is up, Peter.
I know, but hold on. There was an Islander player in 2000. His name was Christopher something, and he was Long Island born. He was the last Islanders player that was born on Long Island. And so this is exciting. I mean, this could be a big moment.
Big moment for the island, big moment for the kids. You're going to be excited about the Belmont. Arena almost looks done. So, yeah, that's going to be another big place for the city. Yeah, Islanders on the come up. Hopefully, Islanders can do some good and get to the Cup. Because we all know that maybe if they win the Cup, Long Island will get a little bit more or less racist. And that's probably not going to happen. But you can only hope. You can only hope if you give Long Island something else to focus on, the racism will dwindle down. But hey, it's where we live. It's where we love. This has been How You Know, people. You know what we do every week? We come back here. We just attack what people think they know, and we just ask questions, poke the holes. Because if you don't poke any holes, there won't be any holes to poke. Did that sentence make sense? No, it didn't. But I just said it, and you got what I meant. Big shout out to our producer, Peter Lewis. Make sure you follow him on any type of social media platform because he will give you random updates about history, facts, and what happened on this day 29 years ago. You may be able to see a occasional picture of Grace Marie.
Grace Marie Fong Lewis.
Grace Marie Fong Lewis. Maybe you'll see a occasional birthday shout out. You know what it is, man. It's your boy J Harbin 15. Hit me up on everything: TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. Remember to follow Austin Titel. He's being a part-time carpenter right now. That's why he couldn't be here. But yeah, that's what it is, man.
Next coming Jesus.
Call him Jesus. Jesus with a love for wraps, because that guy is always eating some type of wrap, whether it's egg or turkey, or spinach. Austin loves his wraps.
It's good stuff. That's why.
All right, everybody. Peace.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.